The human interest in the mystery and the unknown underlies the cryptid phenomena. Throughout history, folklore and mythology have been filled with tales of beings who defy conventional explanation. Whether it's the Loch Ness Monster of Scotland's foggy waters, the Yeti of the Himalayas' snowy peaks, or the Chupacabra of the Americas' pastures, these legends have captivated listeners for years. But might these beings actually exist? Or are we just projecting our own fantasies onto them? Let's find out, but first, make sure you've subscribed and turned on notifications so you don't miss a thing. Both believers and skeptics are fascinated by the world of cryptids, which spans from the depths of mythology to the fringes of scientific study. Cryptids are defined as beings whose existence is debated or not proven by conventional scientific methods. They are beyond our comprehension and live in the realm of mystery. Cryptids cover a wide variety of creatures, from those described in ancient myths to those reported in modern times. These mysterious beings, which exist just beyond the range of human perception, have long piqued interest and been the subject of heated dispute. The mystery of cryptids is as alluring as ever, with reports spanning eras and cultures. The infamous Loch Ness Monster. The story of a legendary dinosaur-like creature with a long neck said to inhabit Loch Ness in Scotland stretches back more than 1,500 years and is affectionately referred to as Nessie. Nessie mania did not begin until the 1930s, after a new road was created along the loch, which is approximately 13 kilometers from the city of Inverness. The first documented account of the beast dates back to the 6th century AD. From that moment forward, it was said that there had been an upsurge in sightings of the prehistoric creature, and even a footprint of the animal was found. It was swiftly determined to be the print of a hippo, most likely taken from a stuffed hippo or from an umbrella stand in the shape of a hippo's foot. The photograph that is considered to be the most iconic of Nessie was taken in 1934. The photograph in black and white depicted an animal that resembled extinct Plesiosaurus. Plesiosaurus belonged to a branch of dinosaurs that became extinct approximately 65 million years ago. In spite of this, the photo was exposed as forgery in the 1990s, and subsequent expeditions using the most cutting-edge sonar and underwater technology have been fruitless in their search for evidence that Nessie still exists. An environmental DNA survey of Loch Ness was conducted in 2019 as part of a scientific investigation to identify the kinds of creatures that were found in the lake. The researchers came to the conclusion that the loch did not play host to any giant reptiles or aquatic dinosaurs. It was discovered that the loch held a high number of eels, which led to the speculation that the creature was actually an eel with a larger than normal body size. If there is a Nessie, she is not only very excellent at keeping a low profile, but she also possesses the ability to evade detection by contemporary scientific methods. Sasquatch. If Nessie is the most well-known of the water-based monsters, then Sasquatch must be the terrestrial equivalent of Nessie. There are legends from various cultures all around the world that describe bipedal, hairy animals. There is a creature known as the Orang Pendek in Indonesia, the Yeren in China, the Yowie in Australia, and the Yeti in the Himalayas, and the Sasquatch in the United States. The humanoid, which is also known as Bigfoot, is said to be a gigantic creature with ape-like characteristics that stands upright on two legs and lives in the forests of North America. The contemporary legend originates from a newspaper article that was published in the American Humboldt Times in the 1950s. The article focused on the account of loggers in California who discovered huge footprints leading to the origin of the term Bigfoot. At 1967, Roger Patterson and Robert Gimlin were able to record the most famous video of the monster at Bluff Creek, which is located in the Northern California region of California. The 1-minute video purportedly shows a Sasquatch going about its business while calmly wandering across a creek bed in a forested area. In the years that have passed since then, not a single piece of proof that cannot be refuted has been found to substantiate the existence of Sasquatch. Videos constantly seem to be grainy. Hair samples are always confirmed to be from other creatures, and in 2002, the family of a deceased logger alleged that the first footprints that began the whole Bigfoot craze were fakes put out by their father. All of these things point to the possibility that the Bigfoot phenomenon is a hoax. The scientific community has raised the question of how a gigantic creature like Bigfoot could maintain a reproducing population while meeting all of the requirements of food, territory, and shelter while at the same time remaining concealed. Misidentification as another animal, namely bears, is the most likely cause of Sasquatch sightings. Bears are the most plausible contender for this hypothesis. The Chupacabra. The word Chupacabra originates from Latin America, and it literally translates to goat sucker. It wasn't until 1995 that the creation came to life, and that same year that the world's first eyewitness testified to what they saw. The beginnings of the creation may be traced back to the local legend. Canovanas, Puerto Rico was the supposed location of the sighting of the beast after it was linked to the slaughter of many sheep on the island. The monster is reported to attack animals and drink their blood. It is described as a medium-sized reptile-like creature with spines running down its back and tail. Since that first encounter, there have been others reported in various parts of the world. However, none of these have produced any evidence that the monster actually does exist. It would appear that humans have a penchant to indulge in and embellish details along the course of a good old-fashioned monster narrative, which they appear to like reading. As is the case with the other cryptids that have been discussed, a significant amount of the evidence supporting the existence of the Chupacabra comes from the testimonies of eyewitnesses. This has resulted in a wide variety of ever-evolving descriptions of the creature. However, so-called Chupacabra bodies have also been found. Although none of them belong to the legendary beast, all of the animals turned determined to be dogs, coyotes, or raccoons infected with sarcoptic mange, a skin condition that is transmitted by mites and results in the loss of hair on the affected animals. It has been hypothesized by scientists that the majority of sightings are likely to be of deceased animals. This would also explain the animal's propensity to attack livestock, since the animals would be easier prey for a predator that has been badly debilitated. Benjamin Radford, an American journalist and investigator, devoted 5 years to researching the beast and came to the conclusion that, from my perspective, there is absolutely no reason to believe that anything out of the ordinary is involved in the attacks on livestock, says Benjamin. And now we move on to Yeti. Yeti, also known as the Abominable Snowman, is an ape-like creature that is claimed to roam the Himalayan mountains range in Asia. Yeti is the mountainous snowy relative of the Sasquatch, who is said to live in the Pacific Northwest. The creature is said to have originated in mythology, and it plays a significant role in the myths and stories associated with Sherpa tribes. As Western mountaineers began to explore the Himalayas at the turn of the 20th century, stories of the Yeti began to pour in, each one more fantastic than the one that came before it. Even the famous explorer Sir Edmund Hillary participated in a search for the Yeti in the early 1960s. Since that time, blurry footage, enormous footprints, and testimonies from eyewitnesses have formed the purported pillars of proof for the existence of the Yeti. There have been skeletal remains and hair samples discovered, but all of them have been assigned to other species such as bears and antelopes. A huge ape of such size would have to travel a great distance in order to get enough food, which would make it difficult for it to remain concealed for such a lengthy period of time, just like Bigfoot. Misidentification is the most likely cause of Yeti sightings, with bears once again demonstrating themselves to be the most likely possibility. No list of Hoosier cryptids would be complete without mentioning the state's most famous snake, monster snake. Avoid the graveyard west of Oxford, Indiana. An enormous serpent 15 feet long and as large in circumference as a good-sized stovepipe with eyes of fire adorned with horns underneath fully 10 inches long, according to a September 1889 account in the Lafayette Courier, hides among the graves. It was reported that the snake fed on the bodies in the graveyard. And with that, that's a wrap, folks. These mind-boggling examples have got us all on the edge of our seats, wondering if the legendary Yeti and El Chupacabra truly exist. Scientists may not have enough evidence to prove their existence yet. But who knows what the future holds? What are your thoughts on these cryptids? Could any of them actually be real animals? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe for your regular dose of cryptid adventures.